Okay, Gary here in the Astro Cave again. And those of you that know me or don't know me, I make the KISS focuser, and it comes in two flavors. This one, this for the SBIG off-axis guider, and this blue one is for the QSI camera off-axis guider. Right now today we're going to be just dealing with this one, the one that goes on the QSI camera. I've had several requests by people to adapt it to the Starlight Xpress filter wheel OAG, the SX OAG. So what I did is I came up with a bushing to accomplish that, and I'm going to show it to you in a second here. Before I start though, I want to mention something. If you don't have a good set of Allen wrenches, and I do supply Allen wrenches with my KISS focuser and adapters, so you don't really have to worry, but this is an excellent set of Allen wrenches for people that have telescopes. These are Bondus, and these are your screwdriver type Allen wrenches, and they are also ball nosed, so they can get you in some really tight places if you have to angle it in there. This particular set was given to me by my friend Dick Krause, who died less than a year ago, passed away during the night. He's a very good friend. Anyway, what we're going to do is going to show you how I've adapted this KISS focuser to use on the SX filter wheel OAG. I came up with this bushing here, and this bushing has several holes around the periphery here. And what it does is it goes in the bottom of this KISS focuser, and it's a slippery little devil. I anodized it. I do my own anodizing on small parts. This step here actually goes up inside. Normally people would think, well, it should be like that. Well, no, because this will give you more back focus right here. So it goes up inside the KISS focuser like that. It also, this is my Lodestar here, the original one, and it has an extra clamp ring on here, and I did that for a reason. I took this off my telescope, and I didn't want to lose the focal point. So when I take it back up and put it on my telescope with a KISS focuser like this, I'll just drop it back in there and rest it on there, and then screw it in. I mean, screw the clamp ring that's on there, and I'll be ready to go again. So for right now, we're just going to set that aside, but I want to show you that this bushing will actually go up inside the Lodestar guide camera. And also, this is the prism tube that I got from Terry. I bought this from Starlight Xpress. It doesn't have a prism in it, but I needed it to check out my fit and how I was going to make this adapter. The prism would normally be there, but I don't need the prism because I don't have an SX filter wheel. I use the one inside my QSI 683 WSG. But what I'm really was interested in was this diameter and the fit into my bushing. We're going to actually put this ahead of your prism tube is just going to be sticking up like that out of your filter wheel. All you're going to see is this part here sticking up about that much. So what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install the adapter onto the prism tube. You will be doing that on your telescope if your filter wheel OAG is up there, which I'm assuming it is. So what we're going to do is, there's several holes around here, and we're interested right now in, there's 3 holes with 632 set screws in them. I'll back that one out. You may be able to see it, I don't know. But it's there. And then there's another one here and another one here, and they're 90 degrees apart. There's also 3 other blind holes in here. Starting here, there's one on the bottom, and there's one here. They're 120 degrees apart. So the set screw holes are 90 degrees apart, and the blind holes are 120 degrees apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and make sure that there's a set screw on this side and a set screw on this side, and there's one straight up like that. We're going to take that and point it forward, and then we're going to slide. You're going to slide it over your prism tube, just as if this was mounted. You're going to slide it over like that. Now what you're going to want to do is when you put it on the prism tube, you're going to want to make sure that on the bottom here, that you don't put this prism tube, or you don't let the bushing go down any further than the bottom of that cylindrical area. The other thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that once you get that lined up, that one set screw is sticking out to the side here. The other set screw is on the other side. That's, in other words, these short sides. And then the third set screw is going to be 90 degrees to the wide area on the prism tube right there. So I'm just going to snug those down a little bit. Not going to make them real tight because I don't have to. Then you're going to just kind of look at it. It's not critical by any means, because you'll have the option of rotating your guide camera. So anyway, it's installed here. The prism tube sticks up a little bit, and we're flush on the bottom here. Screws are tight. Now, again, I want to show you that even with this prism tube on, it actually goes up into that threaded bore, but it does not touch the window on the guide camera, which you don't want to do. You should have plenty of back focus. And this is my Lodestar here, so you can see it goes all the way in like that. Okay. So, and of course, it's not threaded in there because that's not where you're going to do your focusing. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that when you grab the KISS focuser, it's going to go onto your telescope like this. You're going to be standing behind the telescope. The brass wheel is on the left. You're going to have one 440 set screw directly in the back pointing toward the rear, and then you're going to have two 440 set screws here 120 degrees apart. So you got this one and the one in the back. Now, the prism tube is going to be on your filter wheel. You're going to take the KISS focuser and you're going to set it on top of that prism tube like that. Now I've got my set screws in just a wee bit too far because this has to go into that. Now, this is going to be on your filter wheel. We take it and we set it on, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to screw these 3 screws into the blind holes that are there. It'd be nice if I used the right 50 thousandths Allen wrench on those 440s. Now this, you'll have to get that lined up, and I don't have it lined. I could do it upside down, of course, because I don't have it on. Well, let's not cheat. You got it on there. You just have to line it up, and it'll be a lot easier. See, I have to hold the prism too, but you won't have to. And then you're going to get that one of those set screws started in there. It'll be okay. I got it started. Now it's oriented, and then that worked out real good. All right, let's put that back in there, and I'm getting my orientation correct. Okay, and then the second set screw goes in here. All fingers when you're trying to do something. Now the third set screw will be screwed in. Once you do that, it's loose right now, but once you snug those up into those blind holes and those set screws bottom out, and you'll be doing it on your OAG like that. This is tight now. Everything is tight, and you want to just give those a little turn. Don't get too crazy on these 440 set screws. You don't want to strip them out of there. So now you have the KISS focuser setting on top of your filter wheel on the prism tube in your filter wheel OAG. It'll set like that. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your Lodestar camera, and you can orient it whichever way you want. I like to have mine oriented so that the narrower portion, this is not a square chip in here. The narrower portion is, well, on your field of view indicator, it'll be vertical so that when you rotate it around, you'll have a larger area this way. But anyway, that's up to you. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that on the KISS focuser, that this brass wheel, thumb wheel, brings this clamp ring all the way down. So you've got about, I don't know, about 3/8 of an inch there in between there. And then your Lodestar, of course, will not have this clamp on there. I only did that so I can get back to focus real quick. You're going to want to insert it in here, and you're going to want to let it set as far down as it'll go, like that. So the reason for this is that you're going to want to be able to come to focus on the way out, because you don't want to push the Lodestar down any further. So anyway, once I've got it there, then I'm going to take this Allen wrench, and like I say, you can orient your Lodestar that way or that way. That's up to you. I orient mine where the USB port is in line with the 2 screws on the KISS focuser. Okay, so anyway, now you clamp the clamp ring tight. Now, you could start to focus by raising the KISS focuser up, and somewhere in there you're going to find your focus point. And this is what people like about the KISS focuser. It doesn't rotate the guide camera, and all you got to do to focus the KISS is just to turn this little thumb screw a little at a time. Now some people say, well, that's a screw and it's not a fine thread. It's the exact same thread. It's 32 threads per inch. That's in the QSI built-in focuser. So now, instead of raising your Lodestar up and down on this prism tube, you don't, and then have to put a set screw in there, you don't do that. By just turning this thumb wheel, the KISS focuser will raise your guide camera in and out of focus. Once you've got it focused, and I go to that more in depth in the instructions I sent along, you just turn these little thumb screws in like that. You screw those in and it locks the KISS focuser in place, and then you're at focus. So if anybody's interested, I make these adapters for the KISS. The KISS focuser, of course, is $145. And believe it or not, I spend a lot of time making those adapters, and I sell those for $20. You can't even come close to that piece for $20, and then I anodize them too, of course, which takes a lot of time. So anyway, I hope that makes it pretty clear, and if you're interested, contact me, GaryJarrett@gmail.com, and I'll put that on the screen. Okay.